Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Went ahead and picked up a 12-ton shop press just for things to use around here, but we're going to get started on our Moser C Clip eliminators. So I've got the car jacked up, got the compressor fired up. So we'll start disassembly here on the rear axles, and I'll get back to you when we get a little further along. So yeah, we'll get the tires off. We'll pop the back cover, and then get the pin out of there. Slide the axles out, and we'll inspect where we're at with the axles. And then we'll go ahead and nut and bolt everything while we're under here as well. But I have done that recently, so everything should be fine. But yeah, here's a shot of the. This is a UPR Pro Street anti-roll bar, and some Viking dual adjustable. Still running the stock drum brakes. So. And we're still a 4-lug, but nonetheless, that's where we're at. So I'll get back to you when we're a little further along. All right, guys. So making some progress. Just so you know, this little 12-ton press is a little bit shorter, but it is actually long enough to press the axles on. So this is working out just fine. These are the Moser. I've got this one on already, and I'll go ahead and I'll walk you through this one. But we did have one issue on disassembly, and one of these C clips did not want to come out. And I'm going to show you. If you look at these two, sorry guys, I'm trying to find a good spot. If you look, this was the driver's side one. See, it looks like where they put they had to put a screwdriver on there, and it wasn't quite enough room to fit in there. And then the passenger side one fell out, and you see there that one, you can tell they didn't have to force that one in. See, there's nothing going on there with this one. So this one was just a little too short, and what I was able to do was get I have some 90-degree pliers. I was able to get hook behind this thing, between this and the axle where it was stuck in the differential. I was able to get and then kind of wiggle it loose, and then it popped out. So it took me a while. I had to try a few different things, and I posted online. It looks like somebody else with this. This is a Yukon Duragrip rear end differential. Let me turn the light on. So the C clips are right in here in your axle, and it was not clearing this plate right here. So this side right here fell right out. You know, when I was rotating the thing around, this side was getting hung up on the plate with the axle pushed all the way in. So what I had to do was I got these bad boys in there and then wedged behind that thing, and was able to get it to pop out. So otherwise, it was not coming out. It was hitting this part of the differential right here. So anyway, that was the problem I ran into. I took a break. Sorry guys. Took a break and went to lunch. Came back, started thinking about it. I did post like on Facebook and on one of the Mustang forums, seeing if anybody had run into that before, and got some replies. But nonetheless, that's what made it work. And I know I had a differential shop install these because it was. Let's see if you. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to. And you can see right there. That's where they put the. They put like a screwdriver and hammered it into place because it was tight. So anyway, when I had that installed, 31 spline axles and 410 gears in the differential, I took it to a 4x4 differential machine shop here close to the house, Rancho Cordova, and they installed it. So I definitely can see, you know, that they had to hammer that into place, and that's why it didn't fall out easily like a lot of people say they do. But nonetheless, here is the 12-ton jack and Moser C Clip eliminators. And the mistake I made on the first time was I didn't have it up on the little on the little edge there, I had plates over here, and so then I had to press it again and press this part back up in that little flanged area back up in. So I made sure this time that the plates are fully under that kind of cone section there, and then we'll just press it down. And per the instructions, you have to press it down to, you have to measure 2 3/8 from the flat part, from the flange to the flange, which I have my caliper set to 2 3/8, and then we'll just press it until we're lined up. So that's I'm going to take care of that real quick, and then we'll edit these together. Alright guys, and there we are, right at 2 3/8 inch flange to flange. So the little 12-ton jack took care of that, no problem. So next on the agenda is to undo the brake lines and take off the backing plates, and then we got to pop out the axles, or pop out the bearings in from there. But I'll probably pick up on this. Maybe I'll get I'll get the backing plates off tonight, and run up to the parts store and rent that tool for tomorrow. And then after that, we'll have to trim the ends of the axles and do the install. So that's what I got for you today. Alright guys, thanks. Alright guys, so other than the little hang up we had with one of the C clips, I think we got quite a bit accomplished today as far as getting our C clip eliminators installed. Got them pressed on the axles, got everything disassembled, backing plates are off, we got the seal bearings, and then trim the ends down and it'll go back together. The axles all look good. They're all cleaned up. I'm trying to clean everything up as I go. I got the rear covers all cleaned up. There's the pin and the cover bolts. I just got to hit the brake drums with some brake clean before that goes back on. But I did clean up all the backing plates. Those are all sprayed down, cleaned up, ready to go. And so we'll have to we'll put this back together and bleed the back brakes, and we will have our C clip eliminators done. This is the only part that I'm kind of nervous about, making sure to get this cut correctly. So I do have brand new Milwaukee metal cutting blades for my saw, and then that's the only part I'm real nervous about, is making sure this is cut correctly. So we will go from there tomorrow, and got the bolts ready to go. They'll bolt in from the back side, put the backing plate back on, bolt from the back side, and go from there. Moser does include their own sealant for aluminum, all-in-one silicone, aluminum, RTV gasket maker, and sealant. So that is really the last thing I got to do. I'll just rent the bearing puller tool from O'Reilly's up the street, and then we'll go from there. So coming down the home stretch on that, and then we'll be ready. There's actually between Mendota and Reading, there's 3 opportunities to test in March. So hoping this goes smoothly. And in one way I didn't really want to mess with anything because the car's working good, but in another sense, this is a safety item, and it really won't affect performance one way or another as far as A being our times. But it is a safety item that I do want to take care of, and I would definitely feel safer at the track knowing the axle can't shoot out if we launch incorrectly somehow. So alright everybody, so we got the ends cut. I hope I did it right. We'll find out once I'm going to let the silicone set up. So we got these in. Now on the Moser ones, here's what I would recommend, is since the Moser bolts in from the back, see the bolts there, it's kind of hard to keep everything lined up. So I found it best to get the backing plate on and use the bolts to kind of hold the backing plate, because the emergency brake cable is going to want to make it pop back off. So I slid the bolts through, get the backing plate kind of on there, and then you put your silicone around the snout, work the axle into the splines, and before you fully seat it, get a few of the nuts started, and then once all 4 of the nuts are started, or at least 3 of them, then you can slide the axle all the way in and finish tightening everything up back there. That's what worked best. This side was the first one I started with, and it took me a while, so yeah, I was a little frustrated on that. And again, all of it's because this is it would be easiest if you had if you took your brakes apart, or at least your parking brake, so you don't have the tension of this wanting the backing plate to fly all over the place. But I think the Strange C Clips has theirs has studs come out, and you slide everything onto the studs, so that would probably be a little easier. But the Moser one, you got the bolts that go through the back, so you got to line up the backing plate, and you got to line up the alignment for the C Clip eliminators. So that can be a little tricky. And then of course the C Clip eliminator is on its own bearing, so once you get set up, once you get the splines engaged here, then turn the axle, sometimes the C Clip eliminator doesn't turn to line up the bolts. So it can get a little tricky. It's probably best with 2 people if somebody holds the backing plate for you, or again, if you disassemble all your brakes and put them back together, particularly if the parking brake cable, if you take that out, then you won't have that aggravation. So I'm down to just going to do one final clean on the differential there. I've cleaned the brake drums and everything, and we'll clean the diff cover, and we'll let the silicone set up. So I've got to, I'll put the cover back on today. I'll probably go ahead and bleed the back brakes, and then tomorrow I'll refill the diff, and fingers crossed this thing doesn't leak. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.